Mark Zuckerberg has made Meta a complete failure of a company. Outside of Facebook, the only useful products Meta owns, like Instagram, were made by other people and then acquired by Mark Zuckerberg. He has not made a single useful thing outside of Facebook. He spent billions, a number a human mind isn't even meant to comprehend, to make AI glasses that don't even work. But before I can talk about all his failures, I need to first explain why. Why do we even need to create new products? Meta already owns some of the most profitable social medias on the planet, but they all have one problem, and it's a huge one. These are all of Meta's products, right? They're apps: Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, Threads, Meta AI. What do you think they all have in common besides the fact that they make kids more depressed than working adults? Well, they're all apps. And where are apps downloaded? Two places: the Google Play Store and the Apple Play Store, or the App Store. Both of these combined make up 99.38% of the market share for downloading apps. Google owns 71% and Apple owns 27%, which combines for 99%. So, Facebook has no other choice but to sell either on the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store. So, essentially, Meta is Google and Apple's bitch. They are a tier below Google and Apple, who owns the store where they have to sell. So, why does that even matter? Well, both the Google Play Store and the App Store take a 30% cut from Facebook. They say they take around a 15 to 30%, but that 15% is only on the first million. And I promise you, Facebook is making a lot more than $1 million. So they are definitely taking that 30% cut. Both Google and Apple are taking a substantial profit from everything that Meta is doing. They're just sitting there with their market, earning free checks. And on top of this, Apple is going a step further. They are allowing users to disable tracking, all ad tracking. If you look at Instagram today, delete your Instagram and re-download it, you will get this pop-up. This first pop-up is from Meta side. It says, "You have a say in your experience. Discover products and services you might like through ads. Help keep Instagram free of charge. Support businesses that rely on ads to reach their customers." Basically, they want to keep their ad tracking. After you press continue, Apple will give you the real shit. Allow Instagram to track your activity across other companies, apps, and websites. And nobody says allow to this. Everybody is saying ask app not to track, which automatically disables all ad tracking. And this is hurting Meta really bad. If you look, Facebook blames Apple after a historically bad quarter, saying iPhone privacy changes will cost them $10 billion. That's insane. One simple change from Apple blocking their users from ad tracks. $10 billion in losses from Facebook. According to early reports, over 95% of iPhone users who had downloaded the update were opting out of ad tracking. So everybody is saying ask app not to track. Nobody wants this ad tracking, which Facebook relies on to make money. And this will take 10 billion hit over the coming years. This news was reported in 2021. So 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Every year they've had a 10 billion loss, which should be around 50 billion. Just from one simple change from Apple. Do you see how badly they hold the power against Meta and all their products and all apps, in fact? I mean, the ad tracking is a good thing, right? Removing that is a good thing, but it hurts Meta specifically, which is why they hate this shit. And you can clearly tell Mark Zuckerberg hates this more than anything. Zuckerberg slams Apple for problematic App Store dominance. Zuckerberg calls Apple App Store rules a conflict of interest. Zuckerberg takes another shot at Apple and says it's squeezing people for money.
But I don't know. I mean, at some point, I did this like back of the envelope calculation of like all the random rules that Apple puts out. Um, if if they didn't apply, like I think it's like, and this is just Meta. I think we like make twice as much profit or something, and that's just us. I mean, it's like all these small companies that like probably can't even exist because of the taxes that they put in place. So yeah, I think it's a big issue.
I would argue Apple is just looking out for their customer. This is why a lot of people value Apple and their privacy, but it's still a thing. They do their best work. They do stop you from getting tracked. So good for Apple, horrible for Meta. So, why do they need to create more products? Because they need to be bigger than the iPhone. Their entire customer base isn't on the iPhone and the Google app, right? Or the Google phone. They need to be bigger than the iPhone. That is Mark Zuckerberg's entire goal. So he can continue to sell dogshit ads to people. So, mission number one, stop being Apple and Google's bitch. Something that will get people to stay on whatever that thing is for at least 4 hours a day, consuming your ads, consuming your product. So, what was Mark Zuckerberg's brilliant idea? The metaverse.
Let's take a look at what working in the metaverse will be like. Imagine if you could be at the office without the commute. You would still have that sense of presence, shared physical space, those chance interactions that make your day, all accessible from anywhere.
And people love the metaverse. The stock, Meta stock, went to the moon. We're all using metaverse now, and Mark Zuckerberg achieved his dream of getting rid of Apple and the Google Play Store. Except, not really. Meta, when they released the metaverse, fell by 76%. That is unheard of for a massive tech stock company to be down 76%. It is one third of what it was before they released the metaverse. That's how badly it went. So, why did this happen? Because metaverse is complete dog shit. There's a billion videos explaining why. You can go watch them. But essentially, it was a complete unfinished product because Mark Zuckerberg desperately wanted to get out from under Apple's and Google's foothold. But he was lucky because this graph going down, eventually it did go up, and he has one person to thank for this. That is Sam Altman. Honestly, like Mark Zuckerberg should be kissing this guy on the lips. Like he saved Meta. The entire company was about to go down until the AI boom. From what it rebounded pretty good. Like it was creating highs again because of AI. Because Mark Zuckerberg completely let go of metaverse, a complete dogshit idea, and pivoted fully into making AI products. So, what was Mark Zuckerberg's AI play? The first thing he tried was an open source model, like Llama. Llama was their first try at AI. It was going to be open source. Anybody could change, anybody could make products with it. It was all for the people. And it was competing with Chinese AIs like DeepSeek. So this was their competitor, DeepSeek versus Llama. Llama 4, their newest model, was released on April 5, 2025. DeepSeek's latest model was released on December 26, 2024. So Meta has around a 5-month window to make Llama better because they're releasing it later, right? So it should clear DeepSeek because this is how AIs work. The only reason you want to release a new AI is because it's better than the previous models. And if DeepSeek is your competitor, you must be better than them if you're releasing 5 months later. So let's look at some of the benchmarks and how did it go? Well, it turns out Llama 4 Maverick, right here, and Llama 4 Scout, those are the two big things they released, were both way, way worse than DeepSeek, which released on December. DeepSeek V3, that released on December. This is basically a death sentence, and people hated Llama for this. Nobody ever wanted to use this dog shit. Llama 4 models have a lukewarm start. The muted reception of Meta's latest model has some questioning its relevance. It would be exciting if they were beating Qwen and DeepSeek. Qwen is ahead, way ahead of what they are doing. And the biggest thing, these benchmarks are probably way worse in real life because Llama 4's debut quickly met criticisms when developers noticed that the version Meta used for public benchmarking was not the same version available for download and deployment. They had to basically massage their benchmarks to even kind of look like they were close to DeepSeek, which they're not in practice. That's how bad Llama was. It's just another rushed failure product, just like Metaverse. So, once again, Mark Zuckerberg has to pivot. He says, fuck open source, fuck Meta employees. It's time to get people from the outside who've been already competing in the AI race. So Meta buys Scale AI for $15 billion. The only reason they buy Scale AI is because they want its CEO, Alexander Wang. The ownership of the startup is basically incidental. According to one Scale investor, the real prize was Wang. Because in AI, the products don't really matter. If you have the smart person who makes the products, you can make it again and you can make something better. Mark Zuckerberg decided Wang was the wartime CEO he needed at the center of the big tech group's intelligence lab, at a time when Meta was falling behind its AI rivals. So, Llama was a complete failure, so they decided to pivot, bring someone from the outside, but this was the worst choice on the planet. Alexander Wang is not a computer scientist. He has nothing to do with AI. He's just a grifter. He was using third world employees, people from India and Philippines, to basically label pictures so that the AI could understand them. They would get a dog, label it dog. That's all the entire company was doing. Get a picture of cat, label it cat. That's it. And this guy is the one that gets paid $15 billion. He's supposed to be the wartime CEO for their super intelligence lab. That's just unreal. He picked a grifter of all people. And on top of this, they went crazy on spending. They want to build out their full team, like fuck their llama team. We're going to build out a new team. So they go on a spending spree for talent. And I'm sure you guys have heard this, like the Meta 100 million signing bonuses for OpenAI staff. They just want to poach as much of the strong talent from their competitors and build their own team that can make a competent AI. So now Meta has two teams, Alexander Wang and Yan LeCun. Let me learn how to say his name.
You are looking at Julian's pronunciation. French, American, computer scientist, French pronunciation, Yann LeCun.
Yan LeCun. So now Meta has two teams, one led by Alexander Wang, this is the new team, and one that was led by Yan LeCun. He was the head of Llama and their previous AI team. And these, Alexander Wang basically runs all the new hires and their new AI team. So now Meta has two competing AI teams in their own company. And this is just a disaster because he's trying to be like Steve Jobs, where he would make two competing teams. Whoever makes the better product in their company gets all the promotions and everything, right? But this is not a good idea when there's people are spending millions for AI talent. Because whatever team is doing worse, they can just leave and they can get better pay, better everything somewhere else. So let's look at what happened to Yan LeCun's team when Alexander Wang got announced. They all left, every single one of them. Meta's Llama AI team suffers talent exodus at top research as top researchers join the 2 million Minstrel AI lab. So they basically left. Everybody left Meta AI to join a different startup. Meta's Llama AI team has been bleeding talent. Of the 14 authors credited on the landmark 2023 paper that introduced Llama to the world, just 3 still work at Meta. Everybody just left when you introduced 2 opposing teams. This is just another horrible idea. He spends $100 million on new talent when he has really good, talented people already on the team that he's giving away for free. And the final nail in the coffin. Recently, Meta chief AI scientist Yan LeCun, the leader of Llama AI, is also leaving the startup to create his own startup to compete with Meta. This was just hiring Alexander Wang, like a complete nobody. At least Yan has computer science background. He is a renowned physicist. He is very smart. Alexander Wang is just a grifter. He's 28 years old, just grifting his way to billions. Like, good on him. But this is not what Meta needs to be doing. It's just another horrible business decision by Mark. He's lost basically the actual talented people. He just lost them for free. So, Yan and his team completely gone. Let's look at what's going on with Alexander Wang's team. They are also leaving. Mark Zuckerberg's AI hires disrupt Meta with swift exits and threats to leave. Everybody that he's also hiring also wants to leave because they're just seeing how dysfunctional Meta is. Within just days of joining Meta, Zhao, co-creator of OpenAI and ChatGPT, has threatened to quit. Like within a few days, he didn't even have to look at the company. You can just tell it's dog shit. Handful of new AI staff have already decided to leave after brief tenures. This includes Ethan Knight, Ivya Vernam, Rahib Argwal are among more than half dozen veteran employees to announce they are leaving in recent days. These people are leaving 9-figure bags because of how bad Meta is. With 9 figures, we had Nate Shot selling his soul to gambling companies and saying fuck them kids. These people are willing to leave that money because of how bad Meta is. Now, finally, where are the products? He's hired, he's spent billions, he's lost a bunch of employees, but where are the products? So, their first product, they come out with Vibes, basically a TikTok of generated videos. But this is just a shitty ripoff of Sora, which is just a better product in every way. While Meta was focusing on these fake looking videos, Sora actually made realistic, funny shit. Like, it was still humans making the AI, don't get me wrong. It was still humans using the AI to make funny shit. But it was just better on Sora because it looked more realistic. And on top of that, they used way more copyright, but it still worked. Sora was the #1 app. Nobody gives a fuck about Vibes. Sora was making realistic videos while Meta was stuck doing shitty asset trip edits. While Sora was getting lawsuits from every IP on the planet, Vibes was a nobody. Nobody knew them. Sora simply had more motion. So, again, let's stay focused. Why is Meta going through all this dog shit? To stop being Apple's bitch, and it's really not working right now. So, their final Hail Mary, the Meta glasses. These are the AI-powered, sponsored by Ray-Ban, made by Ray-Ban, cool-looking glasses where Facebook can serve you ads and you can scroll your Instagram feeds without Apple taking the 30% cut. But you know the saying, when you come for the king, you better not miss. Well, Meta missed horribly. For one, these glasses don't even work.
So I think our call will be coming in any moment now.
Pause WhatsApp video call.
There we go. Uh-oh. Well, let's see what happened there. That's too bad. I don't know what happened. Well, I got a missed video call. Okay, there's the actual video call. All right, I'm just gonna pick that up with my neural band. This is, it happens. All right, try it again. I keep on messing this up. And if not, then we'll go for the less fun option. Okay. I don't know what to tell you guys. All right.
Hey, can you help me make a Korean-inspired steak sauce for my steak sandwich here?
You can make a Korean-inspired steak sauce using soy sauce, sesame oil.
What do I do
brown
first?
sugar-
What do I do first?
You've already combined the base ingredients, so now grate a pear to add to the sauce.
What do I do first?
You've already combined the base ingredients, so now grate the pear and gently combine it with the base sauce.
All right, I think the Wi-Fi might be messed up. Sorry, back to you, Mark.
It's all good.
Mark Zuckerberg's presentation was a disaster, a far cry from Steve Jobs' in-person presentations. And from a personal perspective, I can promise you I am not doing these dumbass hand gestures in public trying to get my glasses to work. I get bullied enough as is. And anything that forces me to talk in public is just not going to happen. I am not telling Alexa to cancel my hemorrhoids appointment in public when I can just do that on my phone without having to say that to my glasses. So, another failure. And these are building up. They're building up in tons of money burnt. They're just burning through money for dog shit products that no one's using. And it's finally catching up to them. As of this year, Meta is seeking $25 billion from private credit giants to fund AI centers. This means they are asking for debt. They've already run through their enormous cash reserves, which they've been collecting from just free ads from Instagram, Facebook. They've been collecting massive checks from that. And now they finally ran through all of it. They've burned it on the metaverse, on Llama, dogshit AI products, Sora, sorry, not Sora, on Vibes, on the Meta glasses. They've ran through all of it. And now they're using debt, which is now it's getting scary because this is starting to sound like the dot-com bubble. It was fine to say that this wasn't a bubble because they were spending their own cash. But now that they're funding debt, it is exactly like the dot-com bubble. Meta sold 30 billion in recent weeks and another 27 billion in private debt last month. They are spending basically in a year Meta was spending around 75 billion, and they're funding all of that, 30 billion plus 27 billion. So 57 billion, way more than like 60% of their money that they're spending, expenditure in a year, is coming from debt. And that's really scary. Because at least with OpenAI, you can say a lot of people are using their products. Nobody is using Meta shit. And the debt funding is particularly bad for Meta because they need to make products. Let's look at all the big companies that are using debt to fund their AIs. We have Microsoft, Google, Amazon, and Meta. Now, let's look at something. They all have their AI, right? Microsoft has OpenAI, Google has Gemini, Amazon has Ask Rufus. Obviously, it's dog shit, but whatever. They still are doing something in AI. Meta has Meta AI, arguably just as dog shit. But the big key difference, every single one of these companies has cloud computing. Microsoft has Microsoft Azure, Google has the cloud partner, Amazon has AWS. Meta does not have a cloud provider. This means Meta cannot sell their AI compute. Because these other companies, they don't need to make a product. They can just sell out their AI. They can just say, our Gemini is so powerful, we'll give it to you in our Google Cloud partner. You guys can make products with it, and we'll just charge you money for using our AI. Meta can't do that. That means they need to make products. They need to make shit like Vibes or Meta glasses when these companies can just sit back and let other people make it. This is why Meta is particularly in a much scarier spot than these other companies. Just like the dot-com bubble, where Meta became the tier 2 company below Apple and Google, it looks like, again, they're about to be a tier 2 company below the dominant AIs, where they're going to be stuck making the products. And the other companies like Gemini and OpenAI are going to own the AIs that Meta is going to have to use to make their products. And I put the entirety of the blame on one person, Mark Zuckerberg, because he split Meta into two types of stocks, Class A shares and Class B shares. Class A shares are stuff that everybody like me, you, the rest of the world owns. They are the normal Meta stock. Class B shares have 10 times voting power of Class A shares. And these are only owned by Mark Zuckerberg. That means every decision, none of the investors can say anything to him. Nobody can tell him no, or maybe it's not a good idea. So, everything that he's doing, he is solely responsible. He decides what happens at Meta. All Metaverse, his dogshit idea. Llama, his dogshit idea. Releasing Vibes incredibly early and bad, his idea. Meta glasses that don't work, his idea. Everything I've talked about was him. Nobody can say no to him. Imagine, instead of not having a cloud computing service, they actually invested in this instead of the metaverse. Their spot right now in the AI race would be so much healthier. But instead, he wanted to spend billions to go for Apple, to go against Google, and it failed tremendously. He is the one responsible for Meta's failure.